Guys, please confirm to me. All of you are getting my voice and screen. Those are attending in online. Guys, please confirm to me. All of you are getting my voice and screen. Those are attending in online. Am I audible? Guys, please confirm to me. All of you are getting my voice and screen. Those are attending in online. Am I audible? Guys, please confirm to me. All of you are getting my voice and screen. Those are attending in online. Right, sir. Right, sir. And check it what we completed in the last session. If we understand it clearly, right up, all right. If we understand the topic, so Spring framework that we started clearly. So there is some introductory content here we are discussing now. The first one is I give an information related to an enterprise. What is an enterprise? That point here discussed there. What is an enterprise actually? It's a group of organizations running under a single label. It's a business organization where business is going on for the services. Enterprise application as a software application, it can be used to simplify the business processing in the enterprises. It can be used to simplify the internal business processing in the enterprises. Enterprise application architecture. To prepare enterprise applications, we have to provide the following three layers. What are the three layers here we have to provide there? First one is user interface layer or presentation layer, business processing layer or business layer, data storage and access layer or persistence layer. These are overall three layers here we have to prepare. The architecture also we here are given clearly. User interface layer or presentation layer. It is the topmost layer in the enterprise applications. Its main purpose is to improve the look and feel of the enterprise applications. User interface layer is providing an entry point for the users to enter into the enterprise applications. User interface layer is providing a very good environment to collect the data in order to submit data to the enterprise applications. User interface will provide a very good environment to perform client-to-site data validations. User interface layer is able to provide a very good environment to send different types of requests from client to the server side applications. Different types of requests like what? Like a post, then what next one here, no head. Next one is what they report and so on and so on and so on from client to the server side application. Apart from this, what next one here we are understanding there? Alright, sir. To prepare user interface layer, we have to use a separate logic. That is what their presentation logic. To prepare the presentation logic in enterprise applications, we have to use a set of technologies like what? Web technologies like what there? HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript, jQuery, Ajax, and so on and so on and so on. These many technologies here we are using clearly. Alright, so then after this, after completion of this, next one is what there? Business processing layer. There is the next layer, what we have to prepare, business processing layer. What is this business processing layer? What exactly the points are available now? It is the heart of the enterprise application. This layer is the main layer, is the heart in the enterprise application development. Fine. Next one is what it is providing actually. It will provide a very good environment. It will provide a very good environment to define and execute the actual business rules and regulations which are required by the clients. Understand it clearly? Which are required by the clients. It will provide a very good environment to define and execute the actual business rules and regulations which are required by the clients. Clients in the sense, respective vendor who is giving that project to us. All right. Actual business logic, actual business is going on in this particular layer only. Actual business logic is going on in this particular layer only. Understand it here. It will provide a very good environment to define and execute the actual business rules and regulations which are required by the customers or which are required by the clients, whatever it may be. All right, sir. What is the meaning of this business logic, for example? What exactly the meaning of business logic? Some example here I'm telling to you. Observe carefully. I think so. In outside might be D-Mart is available, right? Just like it is a shopping mall, right? Where we can take some items. All the types of items are available. D-Mart. Nowadays, all right. So nowadays, might be Reliance people have given the same kind of approach, same kind of shopping malls like what there, like Q Smart or Q Mart, something else. They are given there already. They're already established so many locations, so many outlets they're given there. Okay, understand it clearly. If you go to the DMart, if you take any product, on that product, the DMart people are going to give 5% off. DMart people are giving what there 5% off on any particular product. At the same time, if you go to the Q Smart, there if you go there, the same product if you take now, they are able to give 10% off. Understand the difference between these two? DMart is giving only 5%, but Q Smart is providing what there 10%. If you go for some other shopping mall, the same product maybe you are able to get with the 15% off. Understand my point here now? So this 5% is for what there DMart, 10% is what there then Q Smart, and 15% is what there some other. Understand it clearly? If we understand the total now, if I prepare an application for DMart where I have to maintain a particular product, there it's a like percentage of the off is what there 5% that I have to maintain. This is specific to the DMart. If I prepare an application for Q Smart, then the same product if you take now, there 10% off here I have to maintain. In that way only I have to write my business logic. If we take some other like what there, some other content there, some other shopping mall, if you give that software there we have to maintain like what there 15%. So this 5%, 10% and 15% is purely with respect to the like what their client, with respect to the respective client. We are preparing application logic for DMart with the 5%. We are preparing application logic for QSmart with the 10%. So all these are like what their business rules and regulations. That 5% of DMart is the business rules and regulation. Then 10% of the QSmart is what their business rules and regulation. All these are like what their business rules and regulations. These business rules and regulations we are going to implement in our application. So these business rules and regulations implementations, which are called as like what their business logic. Implementation for these business rules and regulations is called as what their business logic. Understand my point clearly now? So to define that business logic in our enterprise applications, we are going to use this particular layer. What is that layer here? No, business processing layer. Understand the point clearly? So the point is what? Third point here we are going to understand. The third point is like what there? It will provide a very good environment to define and execute the actual business rules and regulations which are required by the clients. Good. To prepare, not only that, I can take a number of examples on it. For example, a number of examples here we are able to take on the basis of this one. What are the various examples here I'm taking now? Best example, Amazon.com is available, Flipkart is available, Reliance Digitals is available. Get my point or not? Like a number of things are available there. Where if you take all the e-commerce applications now, if you take any product, in some products they are going to provide free delivery. In some other products they are providing what they're not a free delivery, some chargeable delivery they are going to provide. Some payment, some paid delivery they are going to provide. So they are specific to the respective application, not common to everybody. If it is a common, then it is a service. If it is not common, if it is a specific to a particular client, then it is like what there a business rules and regulations. Understand my point? The same thing. Nowadays, maybe iPhone 15 is available at present market in the market. iPhone 15, some version if you take now, and Flipkart is providing something else, some bank collaboration is available with them. 5% they are going to provide as an offer on this overall cost. Say for example, 5,000 they are giving off with the HDFC Bank. That is provided by what Flipkart. But Amazon, if you open there, Amazon.com, they are giving what there with ICICI Bank collaboration. They, if you are using credit cards, they are going to provide 7,000 off. Understand my point or not? That is what their Amazon they are providing. But Flipkart is providing what their 5% with which bank collaboration there? HDFC Bank. If you use HDFC Bank credit card, no 5,000 off you are able to get. But if you go for that Amazon, where if you are using ICICI Bank credit card there we are able to get like what there 7%. No, these are specific to the respective application. 7% is specific to Amazon. That the 5% is specific to what there Flipkart. So these are the actual business rules and regulations. That business rules and regulations here we have to implement. For that we have to use a separate logic. That logic is called as what there business logic. Right, sir. To prepare business processing layer. To prepare business processing layer, we have to use a separate logic. We have to use a separate logic called. We have to use a separate logic called business logic. We have to use a separate logic called as what there business logic. Understand the point here? What I am telling to you. We have to use a separate logic called as what there business logic. This is the punch here. We have to understand clearly. Is that clear? Next one is, but how we are going to prepare this business logic? How it is possible to prepare this business logic? That we have to understand clearly. To prepare business logic, to prepare business logic, we have to use a set of technologies. Like what are the various technologies here we are going to use to prepare this business logics? No, of course we can use like what their servlets. Maybe if it is a web application through servlets also we can prepare like what their business logic. Where if you are not following MVC architecture, where if you are not using any MVC design pattern, plain servlets, plain web application, if we prepare in servlets also we can implement the business logic there. Some service layer components we are going to use to implement business logics, no? Or maybe business components are available separately. Apart from that, like what their EJB components, EJBs is the best solution for what their business implementation. But unfortunately nowadays we are not using the EJBs and its services, no. But in place of the EJBs we are having Spring framework. Because of that reason we are neglecting the total EJBs, no. But EJBs is providing a concrete layer for the business implementation. Understand it clearly? Of course. Now apart from this EJBs, no, next one is what there, and so on and so on and so on, some other technologies. Of course, then if you go for this Spring framework, then frameworks point of, if you understand it, Spring framework is provided there. Then apart from this Spring Boot, next one is a microservices. All these things are like what there. All these things are related to like what there business implementation purpose only. All the things are going to be providing like what there business implementations only. Service layer and business components both are integrated in general. Through that we are going to implement what their business logics. Right, sir? These are the various points here we have to understand. about like what their business processing layer. Understand it clearly. Once again, what I'm telling you, it is the heart of the enterprise application. It will provide a very good environment to define and execute the actual business rules and regulations which are required by the clients. To prepare business processing layer, we have to use a separate logic called business logic. To prepare business logic, we have to use a set of technologies like servlets, service layer components, EJB, Spring Boot, microservices, and so on and so on and so on. But of course, this microservice and all these things I'm implementing there. But because of some other purpose also here, we are going to use them. But mainly, we are going to understand for what their business implementation only. Where business implementation with some other services. Business implementation with some other services. Integration is going to be happen here. That's why directly I'm not going to specify that, but up to Spring here, we can specify this kind of content clearly. Okay. Leave this one. Now, this is exactly the meaning of what their business processing layer, what you are having clearly. Main point is only one point. This layer is providing very good environment to implement business rules and regulations which are required by the clients really. What clients are actually required that business implementation that we have to provide inside our particular layer. So that layer is called as what their business layer. Right, sir. Now tell me. Two layers here we completed. What are the two layers? No, user interface layer, and second one is what their business processing layer that we completed. Now tell me what next one you know apart from this here, data storage and access layer, or maybe persistence layer that we have to understand. Data storage and access layer, or we can understand it is like what their persistence layer that we have to identify. Persistence layer. Later I will give that information to you. Data storage and access layer. What is this data storage and access layer actually? What we are understanding there clearly now. What is the main purpose of this particular layer? It is the bottommost layer in the enterprise application development. It is the last layer, bottommost layer. Under this, we don't have any other layers. Directly, it can perform the database operations. Okay, whatever it may be. It is the bottommost layer in the enterprise application development. All right, sir. Next one is, what is its main purpose actually? All right. It is able to provide a very good environment. It is able to provide a very good environment to interact with the database in order to perform the database operations from the enterprise applications. Understand the point here, what I'm telling here? It is able to provide a very good environment to interact with the database in order to perform the database operations from the enterprise applications. It will provide very good environment to perform the database operations. Database operations here we are having there. What are the various database operations here? We are having there no just inserting the data, updating the data, searching the data, deleting the data, only these things. These are all like what there, these are all like what I'm telling to you, database operations here, what we are performing clearly. Understand the points clearly, what I'm telling you know. Right, so that's okay, fine. Next one is to prepare data storage and access layer. We have to use to prepare data storage and access layer. We have to use a separate logic called, that logic is called what there, persistence logic. Persistence logic. The separate logic is called as what there, persistence logic. Understand it clearly. To prepare data storage and access layer, we have to use a separate logic. That logic is what there, persistence logic. Persistence logic is nothing but what there, data persistence logic, just performing CRUD operations. You know already through JDBC we can identify CRUD operations. What is the meaning of these CRUD operations? Can know create, update, delete, and these operations are called as what there, CRUD operations. Understand it clearly. To prepare data storage and access layer, we have to use a separate logic called persistence logic. Okay, fine. Next one is after this, after completion of this particular one, to prepare persistence logic, we will use the technologies and tools like what are the various technologies and tools here we are going to use there? Simply we can use what there? JDBC is a base technology to perform the database operations. JDBC. Next one is what there? Some frameworks are available. Some ORM tools are available, like sir JDBC and like what there? Uh, EJB's entity beans EJB's entity beans. That is another one. Next one is like what there? Hibernate. Then after that, inside the Spring framework, Spring JDBC. Next one is what there? Spring ORM module is available. Next one is what there? Springboard data JPA is also available. Springboard data JPA is also available. Is also for the sake of performing like what there? Database operations and so on and so on and so on. So many technologies are available. Almost all some R&D work has happened how to simplify the database operations. How to simplify the database operations, some R&D work was happened in the technologies now. Initially, if we use JDBC or EJB entity beans or Hibernate maybe or something else like what there Spring JDBC up to that, Spring ORM up to that, DAO layer we have to prepare. In the DAO layer we have to prepare methods in our own way for performing database operations. But to simplify the work, right from Springboard data JPA or Springboard data JDBC, DAO methods are not implemented by the developer, not required to implement by the developer. Automatically, predefined methods are available to perform our database operations. Just we have to prepare an interface, DAO interface, that's sufficient. Just we have to prepare DAO interface, that is sufficient. Automatically, all database operations are going to be performed. Sir, I'll forget my point or not? Automatically, all database operations are going to be performed here now. Understand it clearly. So this is exactly the point here. What I'm telling there. Springboard data JPA. That information here we are providing clearly. Understand this point clearly. Data storage and access layer here we provide it. So inside this, what is the point here I'm telling there? It is a bottommost layer in the enterprise application development. It is able to provide a very good environment to interact with the database in order to perform the database operations from the enterprise applications. To prepare data storage and access layer, we have to use a separate logic called persistence logic. To prepare persistence logic, we will use the technologies and tools like JDBC, EJB, Entity Beans, Hibernate, Spring JDBC, Spring ORM, Spring Boot Data JPA, and so on and so on and so on. So many technologies and tools are available to perform these database operations. Right, sir? Now these are overall, like what I'm telling there, the three layers in the enterprise application architecture. So overall, what I covered, what is an enterprise, what is the meaning of enterprise application. Next one is what there, enterprise application architecture, where we completed user interface layer, business layer, and a persistence layer. All the 3 points here we understood clearly. Got it clearly, no? All right. Next one is after that. After completion of this, the enterprise architecture, enterprise application architecture. Next one is how many types of enterprise applications are available? How many types of enterprise applications are available? There are two types of enterprise applications types of the enterprise applications, whatever it may be. There are two types of enterprise applications. What are the two types of enterprise applications? No, first one is web applications, and the second one is what there, distributed applications. We can understand these web applications are also be called as web-based distributed applications, and these distributed applications are also be called as what are the remote-based distributed applications. But in the simple words, we can conclude that web applications and what next one here, no, distributed applications. All of you observe carefully what I'm telling you. Okay, fine. Now at least minimum we have to understand the differences between web applications and distributed applications. There's a minimum requirement. Why? Because if you want to introduce the frameworks, basic awareness is required about these web applications and distributed applications. I think previously already I discussed about this point here in the servlets. In the introduction of the servlets, already we have seen these web applications and distributed applications in effective manner. Right, what exactly the points we understood there? Just one time we are going to understand all these points now. Of course, this is one of the interview question at fresher level. Just we have to understand this interview question also now. What are the differences between web applications and distributed applications? What are the differences between web applications and distributed applications? This is the question here we have to understand. Right, sir. Now you only tell me some points here about this interview question there. As we completed already this particular point now, you only tell me what are the various differences are available here. All right, sir. Very first one. What is this web application first? In the case of these web applications, the complete application logic will be distributed at a server-side application only. At server mission only, the complete application logic will be provided in the case of web application. But in the case of distributed applications, no, application logic will be provided at both client side and as well as what their server side. Logic is distributed over multiple missions, client side and as well as like what their server side. Let us complete the first punch here. All right, sir. Web application is a client server application. Web application is a client server application where the complete application logic will be provided, will be distributed at a server side only, at server mission only, at server side only. The complete application logic will be distributed at a server side only. No application logic is available at a client side. Answer my point clearly. But distributed application is a client server application. Distributed application is a client server application where the complete application logic will be distributed at both client and server. At both client and server, the total application logic will be distributed to both client and server. Understand it now. At the end, I will show a diagrammatic manner. Already I discussed about this topic in a servlet here, but part of the introduction here we have to understand, but try to understand all the points clearly. All right. Now tell me, all of you now tell me, in a web application, what is client actually? In web application, what is client? Client is not any other one. Client is a browser. In web application, client is what there? A browser. Okay, but server side application is what there? Our Java application, like our servlet application. Already we are seeing that servlet applications already we prepared there. Number of servlet application we prepared. Every time we have taken client is what? What is the client we have taken? Client is what there? Browser. Browser is a client here that we have to understand. Okay, now understand it clearly. In web applications, client is fixed, that is a browser. Client is fixed, that is what there? A browser. But in distributed applications, in distributed applications, client is not fixed. In a distributed applications, client is not fixed, it is variable. In a distributed applications, client is not fixed, it is a variable. Understand the points clear what I'm telling you know? Client is not fixed, it is variable. It may be a main class with a main method. It may be a main class with a main method, comma. It may be a main class with a main method, comma. Then what next one here? Apart from this, it may be a main class with a main method. Apart from this, a servlet application, a servlet or a JSP. Answer my point now. Or a servlet or maybe a JSP are a framework applications like struts, comma, JSF, and so on. It may be anything. Client may be anything. A simple Java program, or maybe a servlet program, or maybe like what there, or a JSP file, or maybe framework applications like what there, struts and JSF, or maybe anything. All the things are like what there, client. In the case of like what there, distributed application. But remote machine is available where our application logic is available. That's okay. Remote services are available. That's okay. But client is like what there, client may be anything. It may be a normal Java program, or it may be a servlet program, or it may be a JSP program, or it may be a framework application like struts, JSF, and so on. Anything here we are able to specify clearly. Right, sir. Now this is exactly the meaning of like what there, web application. Understand the point clearly. Next one is after this, after completion of this, another content here, what I'm telling to you. Listen carefully. To prepare web applications, we will use a set of technologies like what there. We will use a set of technologies like web technologies. We will use a set of technologies like web technologies. Right, sir. What are the various web technologies? No, we'll use a set of technologies called web technologies. Alright, sir. What are the various web technologies? No, we can understand it clearly. Web applications, no, we can understand it like what? They're servlets, JSPs, okay, and so on and so on and so on. These technologies here we are going to use JSTL and expression language and so on. Understand my point here? These technologies are also be called as what? They're web technologies. That the HTML, CSS, they're also be called as web technologies, but moreover they'll be called as like what? The UI technologies, user interface technologies. But these are like what? They're web application technologies. They're also be called as like what? They're web technologies. Understand it clearly. Similarly, to prepare distributed applications, we will use a set of technologies. We will use a set of technologies called distributed technologies. Distributed technologies like what? What are the various distributed technology? To prepare distributed applications, we will use a set of technologies called distributed technologies. Like what are the various distributed technologies? No, say for example, socket programming right from core Java. These are also be distributed technologies. Next one is what there apart from this, Corba or maybe RMI. We can understand it is also a distributed technology. Corba. Next one is what there apart from this, EJBs. EJBs is also be one of the distributed technology. But apart from this, web services and so on and so on, some other technologies are available. Web services is also like what they're a distributed technology. Yes, sir. All of you are getting it or not? So web technologies are like what they're servlet, JSPs, JSPL, and expression language. And distributed technologies are like what they're socket programming, RMI, Corba, EJBs, and web services. All these technologies are like what they're distributed technologies. I think already in core Java we completed this socket programming and RMI. But remaining, of course, these are outdated technologies only, except these web services. In web services also be SOAP services and RESTful services. Two things are available. SOAP services are outdated still again. RESTful services are required mainly. So anyway, we are going to understand in web services part. We are going to understand these technologies clearly. That's one thing. Okay, right, sir. Now these are the points here we have to understand. The next one is like what there after completion of this. Apart from this, observe carefully. We are executing web applications by using servers. You know already that. Now tell me, how many types of servers here are available there in outside? There are two types of servers we know already. What are the two types of servers now? Web servers and application servers. Web servers and application servers. Web servers are able to provide environment to execute only web applications. Application servers are able to provide environment to execute both web applications and as well as what their distributed applications. But here the comparison between web applications and distributed application. That's why the points here, what I'm telling to you, understand it clearly. Web applications are executed by the web servers and application servers. Web applications are executed by the web servers and as well as like what their application servers. But whereas distributed applications are executed by the application servers only, not web servers. Only application servers are executing distributed applications. Web servers are not executing what their distributed applications. Why, sir? Why it is the case now? Web applications are required support for servlets and JSPs max. Other services are not required. But distributed applications require the services like some middleware services we require like what there JNDI, JMS and JAS, next one JCA, JTA, like middleware services we required. But these middleware services are provided by which servers actually? Application servers are able to provide these middleware services now. These middleware services are not provided by the web servers. These middleware services are provided by only application servers. Yes, sir. All of you get my point or not? Middleware services are not provided by the web servers. Middleware services are provided by only application servers. So because of that reason, distributed applications are executed by only application servers. Web applications are, that means distributed applications are not executed by the web servers. Why? Because web servers are not providing the middleware services support, but whereas application servers are providing what their middleware services support, middleware services support. Just remember that point here, we can understand clearly. Right, sir. One more point I'm asking to you. Now try to answer for it. Simple question to all of you know. Who is executing servlets program now? Servlets are executed by what? Server. Servers are executing what their server. That means server side programs are executed by the servers only. Server side programs are executed by the servers only. Am I right or not? Observe carefully. Servlets are executed by the server programs only. That servers only. But inside the servers, who is executing our server side programs now? Containers. Containers are available inside the servers. That containers will execute what their server side programs. Servlet is a program. The servlet program is executed by servlet container. JSP is an application. JSPs are executed by JSP container. EJB components are available. EJB components are executed by what their EJB container. Like this, different containers are available. Everybody understand the point here, what I'm telling you know about these containers. So now the point is what? Web application is the combination of the web components like servlets, JSPs, and so on. Okay, web application is a combination of the web components like servlets, JSPs, and so on. Okay, which are executed by the web containers, which are executed by what their web containers. Understand my point clearly? What is the point I'm telling there? Web application is a combination of the web components like servlets, JSPs, and so on, which are executed by the web containers. Everybody understand my point clearly? But distributed applications are the combination of the distributed components like EJB components. Distributed applications are the combination of the distributed components like EJB components. EJB components are Java Bean components. Different components are available. So which are executed by the distributed containers like EJB containers. Distributed containers like what they're EJB containers. Web application is a combination of the web components like servlets, JSPs, and so on, which are executed by the web containers. Distributed applications are the combination of the distributed components like EJB components, which are executed by the distributed containers like what they're EJB containers. Now try to understand it clearly. Fine, sir. Okay, now here I'm asking one question to you clearly. Can I prepare an enterprise application by using only web applications or web technologies? Of course, we can prepare, but it is not in effective manner. Can I prepare the enterprise application by using only distributed technologies or distributed applications? Yes, of course, but it is not in effective manner. But how I'm going to prepare this enterprise application in an effective manner? Understand it clearly. To prepare enterprise applications, we have to use both web components and distributed components in a collaboration. Web components and distributed combination in an effective communication, or maybe we have to use like what they're both the web components and distributed components in the combined way, in the combined manner. Both must be provided in an integrated manner. Then only we are able to prepare the enterprise applications. We are able to prepare an enterprise application by combining what there, by combining both the web components and as well as like what there, distributed components. Then only we are able to prepare like what there, an enterprise application. Yes, sir. All of you are following these points or not? What is the main view of preparing like what there, enterprise applications? Okay, leave it. Leave this punch here now. So up to now, what we understood in the introduction part here, in the introduction part, first of all, I started with like what there, enterprise. Next one is an enterprise application, enterprise application architecture, types of the enterprise applications. There are differences also here we understood. It's okay, fine. Just this high level information all I'm discussing with you, now try to understand it clearly. But now I want to give some examples to you. Now try to understand these examples. From this point onwards, everything is new. Up to now, we understood these concepts maybe in advanced Java and somewhere else, no? But from this point onwards, every topic is important, every topic is new. Try to put more concentration. Theoretical concepts only, but understanding is very, very important. Put more concentration here clearly. Clear? All of you ready for it now? Right, sir. Now see this. Understand these points clearly. For example, I want to prepare a simple MVC based application. A simple MVC based application I want to prepare. You know already what is the meaning of MVC? Model View Controller. MVC based application here I want to prepare. What is my application there? All of you understand it clearly. Say for example, this is like what there, add form, this is search form, this is delete form. Three forms here we have taken. Understand the points here. Now this is like what there, add form.html, search form.html. Next one is what there, delete form.html. Add form.html, search form.html. Next one is what there, delete form.html. Everybody understand this clearly. Now here in MVC based applications, definitely we need to have a front controller. Only one controller is required. More than one controller is not available. Okay, now this is exactly called as like what there, a controller servlet. This is controller servlet. Okay, now if you observe this controller servlet now, what next one here we are able to provide? With respect to this add form, I'm going to take a separate module at server side. For search, another separate module. And for delete, another separate module here we are providing. This is like what I'm telling to you, add. And this is like what their search module. And this is like what their delete module. Observe carefully. Now here, in an add module, some logic is available with respect to the add. In a search module also, some search logic is available. In a delete module also, some logic is available for deleting the resources, something else, deleting a particular student or maybe some entity. Along with that, in add module, we require some services. What services here we required here? No, validation services are required. Next one is what there? Logging services are required. Logging services are required. Validation services are required. Next one is what there? Logging services are required. Observe carefully. After these validation services and logging services, next one is like what there? Apart from this, everybody understand this clearly. Validation, logging, the services. Apart from this, internationalization service is also be one of the service. Next one is security is also be another service. Like this, these many services are required at each and every module. These services are common. We require this content clearly. Right, sir. Now this is another application. This is another thing here. Like this here, we are able to have some content. Okay, fine. Now tell me, if I submit a request from add form.html to controller servlet, then what is the job of the controller servlet? Now tell me. Job of the controller servlet is what there? It will check if request is coming from the add.html, add form.html, or request is coming to the add module, automatically it will forward that request to what their add module. There the business logic is going to be executed, that addition operation is going to be performed over the particular entity. When we perform this addition operation, all the services are going to be evaluated or utilized. Next one. For example, if request is coming from search module, then here what you are able to do there inside this, if we provide something else like what their search, then if the request is coming for search action at server side, automatically request will come to like what their search module. There the search logic will be executed. Along with that logic, these many services are going to be utilized. Similarly, when request is coming from delete form.html, where what is going to be happen, if the request is coming for any delete action, for example, if if request is coming for delete, no, automatically request will come to the, automatically this request will come to like what their delete module. There automatically that application logic will be executed. Along with this application logic, all the services are going to be evaluated. This is one MVC based application. Sir, got it or not? Just give a minute of time. Now here, now understand it clearly. Need of a framework. That's the point here I'm discussing with you. The topic name is what there? Need of frameworks. Need of the frameworks. Or else simply here I'm telling to you frameworks. Introduction part here we can identify this clearly. Now here I'm telling there, consider the following applications. Consider the following applications. Right, sir. Now this is one application what we provided. I want to provide another application. You see this. Another application here I want to prepare. So this time, this application is like what there, what I'm telling to you. The bank application here I'm telling to you. In a bank application, first of all, now here we are having some account form. Next one is what the transactions. Next one is what the something is loan module is available. Okay, now here I want to provide like what the accounts form.html, transactions form dot transaction form or something else dot html. Next one is what there, loan form dot html, something else here we have taken. HTMLs or JSP, that doesn't matter. Now here we are going to use like what there, controller servlet. MVC based application, this is controller servlet. controller servlet. After this, here we are having some modules. What modules are available here now? Nearly 3 modules are available. What are the 3 modules here? First module is like what their accounts. Next module is like what their transactions. And other one is like what their login. That means loan, not login, loan modules. Understand it clearly. At each and every module, what you are having there, here we are having some business logic. Business logic, accounts related logic is provided. Here also be business logic here we have to provide. Here also be business logic here we have to provide. Okay. Now understand it clearly. Now the same, whatever the services here we are expecting, all these services are coming to these modules also. At each and every module, these services are very much common. These validations may be, logging may be, internationalization may be, security may be. All these are like what there. These services are very much common. We require these services here now. Okay, now here, what is the flow of execution now in this case also? First of all, when we submit request from accounts form.html to controller servlet, now automatically controller servlet, what it will do there, it will check if the request is coming for accounts, for example, then immediately it will forward that request to like what their accounts module, where the business logic will be executed. Along with that business logic, the services are going to be executed. Next one is when we got that request from transaction form.html transactions, for example, immediately if the request is coming for the transactions, for example, if the request is coming for the transactions, then immediately that request will be bypassed to forward it to the transactions module. There we are going to execute that logic. Then after that, these services are going to be executed. Next one is what? After this, when request is coming from loan form, that means loan module. If the request is coming from loan module, automatically now here what is going to be happen? If it is going on with the loan, with respect to the loan, automatically that request, automatically the controller servlet will forward that request to the loan directly. It will forward the request to the loan module. Yes, sir. All of you are getting clarity or not? So this is another application. Like this, you can prepare 100 applications. All these applications are on the base of like what their MVC based only. Like this, if you prepare 100 applications, 100 number of applications if you prepare now. But in all 100 applications, as per your observation, just 2 types of applications here we prepared. This is one application and this is like what there another application. Almost all that structure is very similar or not? Now tell me, in all the applications, some components are very much common and some services are very much common. What components are very much common in all the 100 applications? No. Identify this. Now in the first application, what is common? Controller servlet. In application 2 also, what is common? Controller servlet. Moreover, in application 1, controller servlet functionality is very same. In application 2 also, controller servlet functionality is very same. In both the applications, controller servlet functionality is very same or not? Yes, try to understand it clearly. In both the applications, controller servlet functionality is very same or not? Definitely, controller servlet functionality is very same in both the applications. 100 applications, controller servlet is very common and its functionality is also very same. Clear? Next one. At each and every application, some modules are available. In application 1, how many modules are available? 3 modules. Assume it, 10 modules. In application 2 also we are having how many modules? No, again 10 modules. At each and every application, at each and every module, how many services are very much common? maybe validations, logging, internationalization, security, all these services are very much common or not? All these services are what they're very much common. Their functionality is also very much common. So altogether, what is the point here I'm telling to you? Altogether, what is the point here I'm telling to you? Observe carefully. The point is like what I'm telling there. In all the enterprise applications or MVC based applications, controller servlet is fixed component and is a common component, and some services are very much common like data validations, logging, security, internationalization. So these controller servlet and these services weightage in the enterprise application development is nearly 70%. In the enterprise application development, common components weightage is what there 70%. Indirectly, what I am telling to you, take any enterprise application or take 100 enterprise applications now, 70% of the implementation is a common. Only 30% of the implementation is variable, that is dependent on the application. But 70% of the implementation is what there common. Yes, sir. All of you get my point or not? So what's the point here I'm telling to you? Consider the following applications. Now the point here I'm telling to you, in all the enterprise applications, in all the enterprise applications, some components some components like controller, servlets, and some services like data validations, security, logging, like data validations, security, logging, then what next one here? Internationalization and so on are very much common, and very much frequent, very much frequent. Observe carefully. In all the enterprise applications, some components like controller servlet and some services like this validation, security, logging, internationalization are very much common and very much frequent. These common components and services will take 70% of the 70% of the actual implementation in the enterprise applications. 70% of the implementation is common from one application to another application. Yes, sir. All of you get my point or not? Okay. Now, if the 70% of the implementation is common, that we know already. But if you want to prepare any enterprise application, we have to provide the 70% of the implementation explicitly or not. In our own hands, we have to prepare the 70% of the implementation or not. Even though it is common, but still we are providing or not to complete our enterprise applications now. Yes, sir. All of you get my point or not? Okay. Now here I'm asking one question to you. Now try to answer for it clearly. Controller servlet is one of the servlet basically. Is this controller servlet is any predefined servlet like generic servlet and HTTP servlet? Is that controller servlet is any predefined servlet like generic servlet and HTTP servlet? No. Controller servlet and the service are not provided by like what I'm telling to you, not provided by like what I'm telling there, not provided by our technologies. Technologies are not providing these components. IDs are available, number of IDs are available. IDs are also not providing these technologies. These components, common components. All of you get my point or not? These common components are not provided by what their IDs also. Servers are also not providing these common components. So we are not getting support from technologies to provide the 70% implementation. We are not getting any support from IDEs to get these predefined components. And we are not getting any support from what the servers like Tomcat or WebLogic or JBoss or what, all these servers are not providing this commonalities. But no technology, no server, no ID is providing this commonalities. Got my point or not? Exactly. In this particular situation, if any third party vendor has provided the 70% of the common implementation as a predefined, automatically we are able to use that predefined 70% implementation of our enterprise application, and we will move on what their 30% of the implementation. Automatically for a developer, 70% of the work is reduced or not? But when it is the case, no, if any third party vendor has provided the 70% of the common implementation as a predefined one, as a built-in one, as an inbuilt one. If any third party vendor has provided the 70% of the common implementation as a predefined one, then we will take support from that predefined implementation. We will prepare the remaining 30%. Then within less time, we are able to prepare our enterprise application. Yes, sir, all of you get my point or not? But who is providing the 70% the common implementation? Some third party vendors have to provide the 70% common implementation. Exactly. In this particular situation, some third-party vendors have provided the 70% common implementation as a predefined one in the form of their own products. The third-party vendors have provided the 70% of the common implementation as a predefined one in the form of their own product. That product, what third-party vendors have provided with the common 70% of the implementation, that product provided by third-party vendors is called a framework. Is called as what their framework. Now tell me, frameworks are providing how much implementation? No, 70% of the implementation of the enterprise application. So now tell me, what is the developer role if the frameworks are utilized here? What is the next participation of the developer? What is it? What is the effort from developers there? No, only 30%, but 70% is already provided in the enterprise application. Only 30% of the work we have to do. If you do the remaining 30% of the work, your complete enterprise application will be completed. Sir, all of you get my point or not? So where frameworks are coming into the picture, that point here I'm telling you now. Where frameworks are introduced, and which point that frameworks are introduced in the sense, this is exactly the location where frameworks are coming into the picture. So frameworks are the third party vendor products. They are providing 70% of the common implementation, and where we have to take that 70% of the implementation help from the framework, and we are going to prepare our required 30% of the implementation. Then with less effort from the developer, we can prepare the complete enterprise applications. Because of this reason only, frameworks are getting very good demand in outside. Sir, all of you are getting my point or not? What I'm telling you now, right? So now let's move on to the points here clearly. In all the enterprise applications, some components like controller alerts and some services like data validation, security logging, internationalization are very common and very much frequent. These common components and common services, these common components and services will take 70% of the actual implementation in the enterprise application. Answer my point clearly. Good. Some third party vendors have provided some third-party vendors have provided the above 70% is common implementation of the enterprise applications in their own products, in their own products, in their own products called frameworks. Called what? Their frameworks. Right. Now the conclusion I'm telling there. If we prepare an enterprise application, if we prepare an enterprise application, if we prepare an enterprise application with the help of the frameworks, then the developers have to prepare only the remaining 30% of the implementation, then the developers have to prepare only the remaining 30% of the enterprise, 30% of the implementation. So if we prepare an enterprise application with the help of frameworks, then the developers have to provide only the remaining 30% of the implementation explicitly. So developers work will be reduced. Understand my point here? Developers work will be reduced. Okay. When developers work is reduced, then what next one, apart from this, automatically developers work will be reduced. Development time will be reduced. When developers work is reduced automatically, development time will be reduced. Automatically development cost will be reduced. What will be reduced here? Development cost will be reduced. Productivity will be increased. Productivity will be increased, and so on. So many advantages here we are able to get. Is it? All of you are following my points or not? Come again. If we prepare an enterprise application with the help of the frameworks, then the developers have to provide only the remaining 30% of the implementation explicitly. So developers' work will be reduced, development time will be reduced, development cost will be reduced, and productivity will be increased. These many advantages here we are able to get if we prepare an application with the help of what their frameworks. Yes, sir. All of you get my point or not? Okay, fine. These are the various advantages here we are getting about the frameworks now. Now I'm asking one question. What is a framework? What is the requirement to go for frameworks that I have given information here? What is the need of the frameworks that information here I have given there? Now I want to get the definitions of the framework. What exactly the meaning of the framework? Framework definitions here I required. Frameworks definitions here I required. Yes, sir, got it no? Now I'm going to give some definitions to you know, try to understand it. Mainly one definition here I'm telling to you, observe carefully. All right, sir. Observe carefully. Framework is the pre-fabricated software components. Framework is the pre-fabricated software components. Try to understand the meaning of these statements now. Pre-fabricated software components that developers can reuse, customize, extend and share. The developers can reuse, customize, extend and share in order to simplify the enterprise application development. In order to simplify the enterprise application development. That's it, guys. Now tell me what you're understanding from this. Now try to understand it clearly. Framework is what there? Prefabricated software components, means that predefined software components. Predefined software controller service is predefined. No need to define that. Some services are predefined, like validations and generic services. Already we have seen that validations and internationalization and exception handling and all these are what they're predefined services. So components are predefined, services are predefined. That's why these are the prefabricated. Moreover, that component with the services, some link up is going on. Some predefined communications also existed. So these are the prefabricated software components that a developer can reuse. Services in module by module we can reuse. That developer can customize. Controller alert as is I don't require. 70% as is I want to use, but 30% I want to customize in my own way. Or maybe data validations are available. I want to customize this. As is implementation I don't require, but 80% of the implementation I want to use as is, but 20% I want to go for in my own way. Customization also be required. That extend up to some X functionality is provided by my, like what their internationalization. Apart from this X, I required Y functionality. I want to extend it. Yes, we can extend. Next one is what their share. That single service I want to be shared to multiple modules. Yes, we can do this. Understand my point here? So for all these things are for what purpose they know? All these many things are for what purpose they know? To simplify, in order to simplify the enterprise application development. In order to simplify the enterprise application development. All of you observe carefully. Tell me again here, what is a framework now? Maybe interface may ask this question with you. Now we have to answer for it. What is the framework here? Framework is the pre-fabricated software components that developers can reuse, customize, extend, and share in order to simplify the enterprise applications, in order to simplify the enterprise application development. This is one point. Now definition 2 I'm telling to you, observe carefully. Framework definitions I'm telling to you, understand it clearly. All right, sir. Framework is the Semi-implemented application. Framework is what there? Semi-implemented application. It will provide, it will, it will provide, or it will provide, or maybe it will simplify the enterprise application development. It will simplify the enterprise application development. Framework is what there? Semi-implemented application. Yeah, already I given information to you. Frameworks are providing 70% of the implementation of enterprise application or not? 70% is already provided in the sense that itself is nothing but an application or not? Itself is nothing but semi-implemented application or not? That's why we can conclude that framework is a semi-implemented application. It simplifies the enterprise application development. That means that where it can be used to developers, it can be used to prepare the applications as per the developers convenience, as per the developers like what their requirement, or maybe it simplifies the enterprise application development. That's okay, fine. This is one definition. Next one is watch, observe carefully. Framework is the, all of you understand it clearly. Framework is the collection of tools and technologies. Framework is a collection of tools and technologies. It can be used to prepare the enterprise applications. It can be used to prepare the enterprise applications as per the developers convenience, as per the developers convenience, as per the developers convenience. Understand it clearly. Right, sir. These are overall. These are overall like what there. The definition, three definitions here we have given for what there frameworks. Come again, no? What are the various definitions here are given there? Framework is the prefabricated software components that developers can reuse, can customize, can extend and share in order to simplify the enterprise application development. Framework is semi-implemented application. It will simplify the enterprise application development. Framework is the collection of tools and technologies. It can be used to prepare the enterprise applications as per the developer's convenience. That's it, sir. Now, this is exactly the meaning of like what are their frameworks. After that, advantages of the frameworks. Advantages of the frameworks. Advantages of the frameworks. What are the various advantages are available for the frameworks? Okay. So this part and remaining content I will discuss with you in the next class. So tomorrow, no need to come for these classes here. Then tomorrow I'll go for like what there, some other class there regarding these Java versions, some remaining versions concepts that I want to give. So that class I want to take in online only regarding the Java versions. So many concepts can I need to discuss there. All right, sir. Then what I'm telling you apart from this continuation of this spring class I will take on Monday. Monday onwards, we are going to continue this point here. Next week onwards, as per the possibility, we are going to take on weekends also clearly these classes. And otherwise, maybe as well as possible, we finish advanced Java, then I'll start immediately hibernate class there at 7:30. I'll give that information to you. Right, sir. But anyway, these concepts here we are going to continue on Monday onwards, right? Take few minutes break and come back now. I'll start the advanced Java remaining content. Okay. Thank you.